Hello, and welcome. This is Fortreal TV. On this particular day, our crew at the property development segment of Fortreal Rei Ltd were out in town to price the cost of building materials, especially because there was a building project that we were budgeting for. And the truth about it is, every day you want to do budgeting for any building project, you have to go to the market, because if you went to the market yesterday, the price is not at all the same as it is going to be the next day. So every time you have to do budgeting, you have to either make calls to verify the new price of the building material, or you have to go to the market yourself to verify certain things yourself. And as a matter of fact, to check out some other stores or building material locations so that you are sure that the person that you are already used to buying from has not increased price for you. All right. All right, so in this particular video, we're just going to show you around and show you our experience as it relates to pricing building materials. We went to where we had to price for gates, price cement, price for rods, price for plank and some other building materials. All right, so while you are at this, or while you're watching this particular video, do it to listen carefully, because we also want to share with you 7 key ways you can manage cost when building in this 2022. 7 key ways you can manage cost. 7 key ways you can manage cost when building at the moment. This is 2022, and inflation as at today is 13.5%, and that is heavily affecting everything in the market. All right, and I think for some reasons, our people have a way of also by themselves monopolizing the market, and also just making the price of goods and services just go very high. All right, so but basically this is our reality and we have to face it, and what we want to share with you today in this particular video while you watch our experience in the field is 7 key ways that you can employ to manage the cost of building in Nigeria. Number one, always make a budget. Always make a budget, and it's important that you are disciplined about that budget. It's one thing to make a budget, it's one thing to be disciplined about that budget. So it's okay to say that, okay, I'm not going above this. I want to use a certain number of materials, I'm doing this certain number of rooms, I'm not going above that. So it's important that you make a budget and you try to be disciplined and to ensure that you don't go over that budget, except maybe you have an upsurge in your income and you want, okay, I want to improve the quality of the work. It's a one-time building project, so I just want to ensure that I get the best for myself. Except maybe there's an upsurge in your income, but really, if you want to manage your funds, then you really should pay attention to sticking to your budget estimation. All right, so number 2 is engage professionals. I personally think I don't think that it's nice to engage people who really don't understand the work, because most of the times they are going to do guesswork, and in the course of them doing guesswork, you most likely be the owner of the project, that will suffer it, because it's usually at your expense. All right, or at the risk of the project that you are that the project that you are building, or the house you are building. Right. So, for instance, one of the things that we get to do is to ensure that we carry out soil testing for every project. So, with the soil testing, you know the amount of cement, the amount of rods, the amount of everything that should go in the foundation of that particular building. All right. So, you don't just have to generalize, but someone who is not a professional, who maybe doesn't carry out soil testing, may just generalize, and the foundation is the same for every project that he or she carries out, right? So with soil testing, for instance, a professional will get to know that, okay, this is the amount of this that should go into this, that should go into that. So that way, there's no waste of resources. All right. Also, where there's going to be an extra because of the type of soil there, the engineer or the professional will also know so that the building is not at a risk of collapsing because there's no proper professional service at the foundation of the building. So it's always better. It's always better that you engage professionals so that everything is intact for you. That way you are able to save costs either in the beginning of the project or ultimately at the end of the project. All right. And number three, if you have the funds, buy certain materials that you are sure already, that you know that no matter what happens, they're, they're going to be affected by inflation. There's a time a bag of cement was 2,500. All right, but as at today, we went to the market. As at 20 the 8th day of February, cement was 4,500 in some places. Some other places it was 4,007. For some other places it was 4,003. Also depending on the number of bags that you are buying. All right, so you'd also know, or you also know already that certainly this the price of these are going to increase. So for those, when you have the budget at that particular, the money at that particular point in time, it's also safe to buy some materials down, knowing that you could save the extra funds that you could spend on 50 bucks or certain number of rods on all of those things. All right, so generally you are able to save costs if you can or have the resources to buy certain number of building materials that you can keep. All right, the cost of laborers may not increase, but the cost of the materials will certainly increase at some point. So if you have the funds, then you can take care of that. Number four, focus on quality from the beginning so that there won't be damage control at any point of the building. Focus on quality. If you focus on quality, there's a less or zero chance that you would have any need for damage control. But if you focus on quantity, or you just want to do it in a hurry or use haphazard materials, at the end of the day you might end up doing damage control for some part of your building project or the entire project, and you already know that damage control is more expensive than doing a more qualitative or a qualitative work from the very beginning. All right, so pay attention to the quality from the very beginning. And number five, use alternative materials where you can. Alternative materials where we can. There are some alternative materials that you can engage, but of course, whoever is using the alternative materials should, the professional should also make sure that he seeks consent from you, the building, the owner, and be sure that the type of alternative material being used is such that fits the building project that you are on at that particular point in time. And number six, go to the main market and, if possible, buy in large quantities. I think this number six and three, they are almost the same, but the difference is go to the main market. Like I said, there were some places, mini stores, where a bag of cement was going for 4,700, and when we went to the main part of where these building materials are sold, we got for around 4,000. We got for 4,300. That was as at the time this video was being uploaded. All right, so if we had to, and then of course there's they had to bear the cost of carrying the equipment to the site. Okay, but if we had insisted on buying somewhere closer and then in many stores, you possibly will be spending more. All right, so go to the main market and go to where the main sources of the materials are, so that you could possibly get at a better rate. And the last one is, if possible, avoid delay when building. If possible, this is a matter of if it is possible and you have the resources, just try and build as fast as you can, because the more you delay, the higher the chances that building materials are going to be more expensive or become more expensive, and that way you'd have to keep increasing your budget or spending, and that may not be nice. So if you have the money and you have the money somewhere, just do it and get over with it. All right, that's basically all that we have for you today. If you can see carefully, we've checked out a number of building material shops, carpenter shop. Okay, we'll get to that part shortly. The electronic parts, the gates, the cement, the rod, and some other building material. If you want your building material to be, if you want to build in Benin City, or some other parts of Nigeria, Fortreal Rei Ltd is available to help you do that. Okay, so that is it. Do well to stay in touch. Subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed, and just stay in touch, because Fortreal TV generally, that is the Fortreal brand entirely, got you covered. Once it concerns your real estate investment in Nigeria, we got you covered. For us, forwards a priority. Safe, smart, profitable, and sustainable. If it's about real estate investment, we want to ensure that they are safe, smart, profitable, and sustainable. If it's about your building project, we also ensure that it is safe, smart, profitable, and sustainable. Do it to stay in touch and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.